Recently, I refound this storytime YouTuber who makes pretty weird story times. Now, I don't know if they're fully real or if they're just purely fictional. That's besides the point. He makes pretty weird content. Now, by refound, I do mean refound because I kind of forgot about him. A couple of years ago, on TikTok, I saw him every once in a while. I would watch his, story times. Pretty strange stuff. We'll get into that. But I did see them before. And then I saw them again recently. So I thought I'd go onto his YouTube and see what he does now and see what it's like. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today.
Remember back when I was in high school, there was a girl that I was seeing that I was madly in love with. And I'm not gonna lie to you, me and her were always talking, but we never actually ended up dating. And one of the reasons for that is because for some reason, her guy friends were always manipulating her. Meaning every time I wanted to go out with her or do something with her, there's always something going on with her guy friends that she just couldn't tell me. So I remember from there, I decided to basically ask her, hey, listen, if you're into someone else, we don't have to talk anymore. And then she ended up telling me, oh no, I'm still into you, I have a lot on my mind. Okay. Until I remember the next day, I was snapping her, and what ended up happening was actually really weird. But follow for part 2.
Now, in this first clip, and as you're going to see in all of the other clips, there's the Minecraft parkour, which is a classic for the short-form content, like YouTube Shorts and TikTok. And this is on YouTube Shorts, but he does have a TikTok, I'm pretty sure. And there's the Minecraft parkour in the background to, stimulate whoever's watching, which is similar to, commentary channels like this. You're watching me play CSGO right now, and you're watching this guy do Minecraft parkour, except it's a little different, because in this, he's got the captions, he's got the images, so they're constantly popping up, whereas this is a little more of a calming sort of thing. I feel like commentary channels are much more calming, or just not as in your face all the time, because it's just talking. And then the gameplay. There's no images usually. That's besides the point. I'm rambling here. The story itself is a little weird. Nothing too out there right now. I'm not going to go to the next part. But just the title, Devil's Tango with my ex's sister, obviously to save himself, but that makes sense. But Devil's Tango is such a strange wording for it.
Remember when I was at the mall change rooms and I heard this girl crying for help? I basically ended up going in there. I walked up to the door, knocked on it saying, yo, do you need my help? She ended up saying my name again saying, yeah, Bubba, I need your help. And I looked over at the person that was running the mall change rooms and she gave me the okay to go in there. Kind of insane, but hey, at the same time, she let me in. I got permission. So I remember going in there and one thing led to another. This girl was already on her knees ready to do the Devil's Tango. And from there, I remember basically we were doing it in there for almost more than half an hour. Half an hour in a change room gets suspicious, to the point where basically the person that was running the mall change rooms ended up walking up to the door, knocking on it saying, hey, you guys have been in there way too long. And right as I heard that, well, I'm not gonna lie, we ended up getting caught. But hey, at least I did the Devil's Tango. Fall for more embarrassing.
This is a true r/that happened moment. I'm not really believing that this happened. I mean, obviously, it's the third part. I'm pretty sure this is not the, full video, obviously, because at the start, it was kind of weird because the girl in the change room said his name, which is weird because he made it seem like it was just some random girl, so how would she know who he is? We'd have to get more context. Either way, it's a very, fake-sounding story. Also, I found it funny at the very end, it said both more something, both more for part 2, which you can tell he just does the auto captions or whatever. Like in CapCut, you can do auto captions, so it'll take your video and caption it for you. So he's clearly done that because he actually says follow for more embarrassing stories or whatever, whereas it says both more. It's just a weird thing, just a thing I wanted to point out that I thought was kind of funny. But I also wanted to point out that he always does that follow for blank, whether it's follow for part whatever, follow for more embarrassing stories, he's always pushing the follow. Which makes sense, at least it's at the start, or I mean like at the very end, but it's always the same thing. But I just hate it because not the one where it's like follow for more embarrassing stories, because it's like, okay, that's fine. But when it's like follow for part 2, 3, 4, 5, and some of these get up to like 9 parts. Like, I shit you not, I've gone through some of his videos and clicked on, and it's like part 9, and it's like, what the fuck? How do you? Obviously, it's just to get shorts out, just to get more followers and get more attention and views and whatnot. But it's still just is so weird. Now, you can see me scroll and scroll and scroll in that last clip. Now, when I got to the top, you can see that in his banner it says new shorts every day at 9 a.m. So this is why he's put the promise of new shorts. So clearly he's like made a storytime video of some way, in some kind, right? Whether it's real or not, you know, we're gonna like push past that. But he's made it so that he's putting out shorts every single day. Obviously, because the story times are pretty long. I checked his longer form videos. A couple of his recent ones were like 20-minute stories, which is a pretty hefty amount for story times. But he's putting out shorts every day because they're just snippets of those videos. Except it's not just like a snippet of one video, and it's like, oh, go check out the full video. No, it's like every part of that story, which is interesting.
I remember the next day, I ended up passing out till like 11:30 a.m. And when I woke up, I ended up walking around my house seeing that my babysitter was gone. And I didn't know what was going on, seeing that no one was in the house. But when I exited my house and I went outside to see who was at the front door, let's just say there were a ton of cops, my parents freaking out, and my babysitter being in massive trouble by her parents. Apparently, they thought I was missing, when in reality, I was passed out in my bathtub being bricked. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's really insane story. But before anything, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe, and like I always say, follow for more embarrassing stories just like this one.
You can see in that one, that's one of his latest videos, and he has his face cam now, so we can actually see what he looks like now. He doesn't look like that bad of a guy, but he also has like all the graphics and the sound effects still going on, so it's not just his face cam. We got the GTA race gameplay, we got the graphics for the different characters, we got the sound effects, we got the captions, we got like everything everywhere. So obviously still in that like, actually just in an evolved form of the like constant stimulation sort of TikToks. And also we did just kind of go to the very end of a video, so you know we can't really comment too much. But that was a very abrupt ending. It didn't feel like it was a very smooth ending. It was just like, I'm bricked in the bathtub. Very weird and not very smooth ending, but hey, alright, whatever.
I remember when my teacher put one of my videos up on the projector. Now, don't get me wrong, I was panicking a lot, and I know when people panic, they start freaking out, hyperventilating, and crying. But as for me, what I like to do is I like to sprint. So I literally remember running out of there like Sonic and just praying that no one noticed me. By the way, it was pretty obvious people noticed me. I literally had to jump over a desk. And I literally remember my teacher saying, wait! After that, I didn't really hear anything because I was already out the door. Now, back when I was a kid, I actually lived really close to my middle school. So I remember I literally sprinted all the way home, basically tearing up and crying. Later that day, my mom ended up calling the school to see what was going on while I was in my room crying and making videos at the same time. And then she came into my room and told me some wise words that I'll never forget. It went a little something like this: I don't understand why you're making videos if you're just gonna get made fun of all the time. Like, just don't do it anymore. Like I said, being a content creator wasn't really a big thing back then, so I kind of understood it. Then the next day when I went back to school, something insane happened that I actually didn't expect.
Now, this was one of, if not his most popular video that I found on his YouTube channel, and this one is actually, like, the most believable of all of his stories. Like, if a middle schooler who has a YouTube channel is, like, embarrassed by their teacher pulling it up on the screen, like, it's believable that they would run home if they had the chance. Honestly, the weirdest part of that all was just his mom basically dissing him making videos, in a way. You know, if you're gonna make fun of for making videos, just don't make them at all. And here we are, he's still making videos, so clearly he didn't take those wise words to heart. Either way, he's a pretty weird sort of content creator. I'm not really a fan of his videos, but they're not the worst videos out there, so I'll give him that. But that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, follow the socials, and join the Discord. Those are in the description down below. I'll see you guys in the next video.